Tim, are you waiting? It's 6:30.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. We are going to begin our presentation for the public kickoff meeting, our virtual presentation of the rehabilitation of the 16th Street Northwest Bridge over Piney Branch Parkway project. Thank you for joining us tonight. Next screen. Before we begin, I'd like to just go over a few basic controls to help you participate on this platform. Please note this is an open meeting, and as required by DC Code 2-578, this meeting is being recorded, and the recording will be made available to the public. The video file with both audio and video will be shared on the project team website and DDOT's YouTube channel. You can find that at youtube.com/DDOT-TV videos within 7 days after the meeting has ended. This meeting is being live streamed to DDOT's Facebook page. That's facebook.com/DDOT-DC. If you do not wish to have your voice recorded, please do not ask to speak. You may enter any questions or comments in the Q&A, which we will review very shortly. If you need technical support during this meeting, please call 202-309-3491. Using Webex. Everyone is on mute. You cannot unmute yourself. We can unmute you during the Q&A and comment period. This helps to ensure the meeting runs smoothly and there are no auditory disruptions during the presentation. To request to speak, you will need to use the raised hand feature, which we will cover shortly. Your video camera is off by default and you will not be able to share a video. If you have a question or comment that you would like to speak up about, please raise your hand. This indicates to the project team that you would like to speak. To virtually raise your hand, click Participants on the bottom right of the Webex window. The next panel or window will appear. Near the bottom of the panel or window, there will be a small hand icon. Click on the hand icon to raise your hand. If you joined by browser or mobile app, click the three-dot icon and select Raise Hand. If you dialed in by phone, dial *3 to use the Raise Hand function. We will begin tonight. I do want to just bring this to your attention. This is the kickoff meeting for the construction project. We've met with the community in the past during the concept phase and the design phase, and tonight we're happy to bring the construction project. Our agenda will begin with a brief introduction. We'll have opening remarks and welcome the community partners. We'll go over the project overview and project objective, followed by maintenance of traffic, and then we'll open it up for question and answers. And then we'll also have the Title VI survey questionnaire at the end. And then we'll provide our contact information once the meeting ends. I'll turn this over to Omid Gami. He's the project manager for DDOT.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the pre-construction public meeting for rehabilitation of 16th Street Bridge over Piney Branch Parkway project, bridge number 22, and thank you for your participation. I am Omid Gami, project manager for this project. I want to introduce the rest of our team. Miss Zara Doriz, she is program manager for team 2 DDOT, Ward 3 and 4. Miss Nanette Bowles, resident engineer of 16th Street project. Next slide. And our construction consultant team, Rob Lancaster, senior project lead, Vincent Comorzi, resident engineer, Andrew Lee, construction manager, and Miss Jam Kendrick, public outreach. We are so excited about the start of the project, and I would like to welcome the community partner. We understand there are a lot of stakeholder and partner in this exciting project. We look forward to working with this stakeholder and partner to getting the project started and keeping it moving. Next slide, please. The bridge number 22 features a parabolic arch, which is considered to be first parabolic concrete arch in the United States. The bridge was originally constructed in 1906 and 1910 and then rehabilitated in 1992. This DDOT project, as a part of Mayor's Vision Zero initiatives, aims to improve the existing roadways for transportation, create a safe environment for bicyclists and pedestrians, install new traffic signals and electrical upgrade, and extend the service life and preserve the integrity of existing historic arch bridge. Next slide, please. The rehabilitation of the project has been designed to implement an improvement for the safety improvement. We have a replacement pedestrian fence, abutment slope improvement, replace northwest approach guardrail, upgrade bridge lightening, and traffic signal upgrades. For bridge rehab improvement, we have concrete repairs, including deck replacement, sculpture restoration, and addition of the stormwater management biofiltration planter. I'm handing this presentation to Mr. Vincent. He's the consultant resident engineer.
Thank you, Omid. And again, good evening. My name is Vincent Komodzi. We're going to go down a little bit details into some of the features of the introductory information Omid just gave you, starting with some of the safety features. So as part of this rehabilitation project, one of the visible safety features that will be performing on this is the replacement of the existing fencing, as you see, that is over here, the 8-foot high bridge fencing. This fencing was installed back prior to the 1992 rehabilitation, as Omid said it. Next slide, please. We will be replacing this rehabilitation project. Will be replacing that old fencing with a new, safer, taller 9-foot DDOT standard fence, and will look something like this when it's all done. Next slide. And still talking about the safety improvement features, the next is the bridge lighting and traffic signal upgrades. The existing bridge lighting was installed after the 1992 rehabilitation program. This kind of rehabilitation project is going to be rehabilitating this bridge lighting features. This will be done by sandblasting, cleaning, and repainting these fixtures. Additionally, there's going to be conversion of this existing light to LED, and this will be facilitated by the installation of a retrofit kit, just so it's consistent with the LED street light upgrades to LED along the 16th Street corridor. Another additional safety feature that you'll be seeing that's going to be undertaken by this project is the traffic signal upgrades at 16th Street and intersections with Shepherd Street as well as Arkansas Street. Next slide, please. Now, those of you who have had a chance to look at the slope up close will realize the slope has undergone some significant areas of erosion, exposed tree roots, and vegetative undergrowth. We are going to be fixing this by, next slide, please. But yeah, we are going to be fixing this by implementing a slope stabilization mechanism that consists of a vegetated cellular confinement system called EnviroGrowth. And this will require a little bit of excavation to anchor the system into it. When it's all finished, it will look something like you see on the screen. Next slide. Another safety feature that, another interesting feature, which is also a safety feature that we will be working on, will be replacing. It's the guardrail system at the northwestern corner of the bridge as you drive up north on the System Street. This existing timber guardrail bridge will be replaced when it's all done. It's all done. Next slide, please. Will be replaced by an FHWA steel back timber guardrail system, which it's seen here. If you drive, this is consistent with if you drive along the Rock Creek historic corridor, you would notice this as you drive along Rock Creek, Beach Drive, and this is similar to the guard railing systems that you see over there, and this is what it's going to look like when it's all done with under this program. Next slide. Now, Omid just introduced this bridge, and this is a concrete bridge. So concrete repairs constitute the major parts of works that we're going to be undertaking on this job. There will be different types of repairs like patches, removal of patches and patching back, crack repairs, repointing of concrete joints and stuff. This will be done to concrete defects on key bridge elements like the railing post and the light pole bases. Next slide. Balusters, defects on balusters. The next slide. Major features like the bridge spandrel walls, the main arches on the exterior, the column and the struts in the interior that hold the deck, the deck. You will not see that, but Andre will be talking about the repair of the deck in a few. But additional bridge features, defects on which will be done include the curb, the railing, the statue pedestals. Also, there will be replacement of coping and balusters as part of this rehabilitation project. But given that this is all geared, the whole program here is geared towards the historic restoration of this, bridge elements. Specific contract requirements are to be followed by the contractor in the cleaning of the bridge surfaces, matching of color, aggregate shape and texture of patches that we're going to be undertaking. And this will be facilitated through trials by mock-ups of the very items we'll be doing, like the cleaning, the bridge surfaces, concrete removal, patch and crack repairs, and coping repointing. Next slide. Now, as I said, the bridge rehabilitation, it's going to be taking, involves different types of repair, that is, different types of patches, cracks. And what you see here, it's a generic overview of the bridge with its key elements that we're working on. You see the bulb, the street lights at the top there, all the main arches with the different types of patches, the crack repairs, or what have you here. With this, I would hand it over to Mr. Andrew Lee to continue with the presentation.
Thank you, Vincent. My name is Andrew Lee. I'm the construction manager for this project. Thank you for all who've taken time out of their day to join us tonight. We'll continue with some of the improvements that we'll make as part of this bridge rehab project. I'm sure those who live in the communities are very well aware of the statues, the historic statues and sculptures at the front of the bridge. We'll be cleaning the sculptures, applying protective wax coating, and continuing to ensure that these bronze tigers remain a visible feature of the bridge. Next slide. We will also be adding stormwater management bioretention planters at the identified locations in green. And the addition of stormwater management planters will be able to capture rainfall and surface flow to decrease any type of flooding in the area. Next slide. So Vincent mentioned a little bit about the concrete repairs. a lot of concrete patches on the spandrel walls of the arch bridge, as well as on the balancers on the concrete sidewalk. But the major component of this bridge rehab structure is the replacement of the existing concrete deck with a new latex modified concrete deck. For those that's been out in the bridge, you may wonder why we're replacing the deck. There's been a new HMN overlay. However, if you take a look at some of these pictures here, the deck's in not great condition. And there's a lot of spalling, exposed rebars. These are some pictures underneath the deck. And for that reason, to maintain the structural integrity of the bridge and to ensure that this bridge stands for many, many more years, we need to replace the concrete deck for the safety of the public travelers. So we'll be removing the existing HMA hot mix asphalt overlay and replacing it with new latex modified concrete overlay to match the existing roadway elevations. Next slide. So unfortunately, whenever we perform an operation such as deck removal, anticipate significant traffic disruptions, as in order for us to replace the concrete deck, we'll have to take a couple lanes and allow the contractor to replace the deck one stage at a time. So the existing bridge right now has 5 lanes, 2 northbound, 2 southbound, and 1 reversible. And as part of the deck replacement, we will be taking 2 travel lanes, which will be closed for the entirety of the deck restoration, and opening 3 lanes, 1 southbound, 1 northbound, and 1 reversible to the traveling public. We will allow the reversible lane to accommodate for normal peak, which a lot of folks will be coming into DC, so that's 2 southbound lanes. And at all other times, it will be 2 northbound lanes heading out of the district. This image here is stage 1, which this is looking northbound. We'll be taking the 2 rightmost lanes headed northbound. We'll have the sidewalk closed as well as the contractor performs stage 1 construction. Advanced warning signs will be placed to divert the pedestrians onto the open sidewalk, as well as vehicles into the new traffic lane configurations. Next slide. Following stage 1, we'll be moving into stage 2, which is represented here. Stage 2, we will take the 2 leftmost lanes looking northbound. So those are the 2 current southbound lanes. We will be diverting traffic to the right side onto a portion of the deck that we just completed as part of stage 1. And additionally, maintaining 1 southbound, 1 northbound, and 1 reversible lanes. The sidewalk on the other side will be closed, and folks and pedestrians will be diverted prior to the bridge approaches to the other side and to the new travel lane configurations. Stage 3. Stage 3, again, we're moving towards the center of the bridge. We will have 1 dedicated southbound lane on the leftmost side, and the other 2 lanes will be on the rightmost side with 1 reversible and 1 northbound. You'll notice that in this stage, both the sidewalks will be open to the public, and caution is recommended for all, and advanced warning signs will be in place to ensure that folks, both travelers and pedestrians, are aware of new travel configurations. Next slide. Lastly, we'll capture the last remaining little bit on the bridge through stage 4. Have 1 dedicated northbound on the right side, and 2 lanes, 1 southbound and 1 reversible on the left side. Both sidewalks will remain, and during this stage, we'll complete the final segment of the concrete deck restoration. Next slide. So again, in order for us to perform this operation, there will be a significant traffic disruption and reduction in travel lanes from the current 5 to 3. This is necessary to install the concrete deck and maintain safety as well as structural integrity of the bridge. The public is reminded and recommended to seek alternate routes on Georgia Avenue, Connecticut Avenue, as well as Beach Drive, entering and exiting the District of Columbia. In addition, this bridge crosses Piney Branch Parkway, and as Vincent mentioned earlier, we will be also making some small concrete patches on the spandrel walls of the concrete arches. In instances like that, we will have to close temporarily lane closures along Piney Branch. It will not be a full lane closure, and there will be a single lane closure with flagging operations. So be cognizant of the potential activities on Piney Branch Parkway as well. Next slide. So we are the construction management team. We're excited to get construction started. DDOT has procured a contractor to perform the work. We are excited to get started with them. The notice to proceed has been issued for April 25th. We expect a 19-month construction period with the anticipated construction completion falling around sometimes next year during the fall. Next slide. So that concludes the technical portion of our presentation, and we will hand it off to Jam to facilitate the Q&A session.
Thank you, Andrew. I just want to remind you that in order to send a question, click the 3-dot icon in the bottom right side of the Webex window and select Q&A. A new panel or window will appear in the Ask field. Select all panelists. Click the text box to type your questions and press the Enter key to send. If you joined by browser or mobile app, click the question mark icon to access the Q&A to ask a question. And if you dialed in by phone, dial *3 to use the raise hand function. This indicates to the program team that you would like to present a question. We are opening the question and answer section now, and we will monitor the chat. Does anyone have any questions? And do we have any questions in the chat? Or Q&A? The first question that we have is, who's the contractor for this project?
The contractor is
Kiewit. Thank you. The next question, will travel across the bridge be maintained throughout the construction period?
Yes.
Andrew, your voice is faint.
We do not anticipate any closure of the entire bridge.
Okay, very good. So there will be, at all times, there will be lanes open to travel across the bridge. How will this impact bus travel, mainly for rush hour?
Vincent, you want to take this one?
Yes, sir. Bus travel will not be impacted in any way. All the existing bus stops, both north and south of the bridge, will be maintained. Wherever our lane setup appears to set up conflict with it, we will be providing ADA accessible ramps just so the bus can stop and give access for people to hop onto the bus uninterrupted.
Okay, thank you. I do have another question. What does the rehabilitation cost and how is this funded?
Omid, would you like to answer this question, or would you like for us to answer?
Yes, the construction cost is about over 8 million, and altogether including construction management and DDOT engineering team expense is about 11 million for whole project, and mostly is federally funded.
Okay, thank you. There's another question. Are there any plans to monitor or manage bailout traffic onto Blagden Avenue during the morning rush hour? This is especially important because Upper Beach Drive remains closed.
Jim, which is the other avenue?
Blagden?
Blending.
Just I want to address the Beach Drive DDOT closed for other project with coordination with NPS. However, we are going to open the Beach Drive shortly by mid-May, and then start the closure of the Piney branch. We do not close both road in same time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The next question is, will I be able to run across the bridge sidewalk to enter Rock Creek Park and Beach Drive?
At any time, at the construction staging, it's such that at any time one of the two sidewalks will be opened. So that gives you access from the bridge down to Arkansas, is that right? Arkansas Avenue and down to the branch if you would have to do that. So there'll be no restriction to access for pedestrians going across the bridge to link them onto Arkansas and down to Piney Branch Parkway, if that's what the question is about.
Okay, thank you for that. The next question, have you discussed the desirability of NPS opening up Upper Beach Drive to reduce additional flow through traffic in Crestwood?
Yes, actually, we are coordinating with National Park Services, NPS, for Rock Creek Trail project, which is other project in the IPMD in DDOT. We expect the brand new pedestrian bridge construction will be completed by mid-May. As soon as they complete the construction for the pedestrian bridge, we open the beach drive.
Okay, thank you, Omid. I want to double back to a previous question. The presenter says that the above question is not about the closure of Lower Beach Drive. It is about the bailout onto Blagden Avenue because Upper Beach is still closed.
Yeah, if I may chime into this one, I think the Blagden closure, would have no relationship with what we're doing. As far as our lane closures are concerned, we would have no closures on Piney Branch Avenue. So the only time whether we're going to be on Piney Branch is taking advantage of the closure that is being put in place by an already ongoing projects underneath the bridge. So as far as our contract is concerned, at no time would we be required to sort of close Piney Branch Avenue. So it's blank, but for the Blank I think, way down Piney Branch, and the closure of that is related to the ongoing Rock Creek Parkway project. So in terms of, we are coordinating with them, but as far as our project, that would have no impact. We would have no jurisdiction over that.
Jam, if you could ask the attendee to submit the question to DDOT directly, we will look at monitoring the bailout traffic over Plattsburgh.
Okay, thank you. We will ask them to present the question, and please leave your email so that they are able to respond to you. There's another question. It says, will there be bike lanes on both sides of the new bridge?
Yvonne, is that something you can You could take a gander at,
James?
or James.
I guess you're asking, are there new bike lanes? The short answer to that is it will be the similar width that's what's out there. There will not be it's a shared use path. But there will not be dedicated bike lanes.
So there's a shared use path on each side of the bridge?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. I'm looking in the chat to see if I see any additional questions, and in Q&A, I don't see any at this time. Are there any, wait a minute, there are a few questions. What are the hours of construction?
Should be between 7:30 to 3:30. Maybe just in some certain event we have to extend the hours, but we let the public know by traffic advisory in advance if some emergency work happen needed after working hours.
Okay.
And I will just remind everybody that based on the current construction sequencing, most of the work will be occurring behind concrete barriers in the 2 lanes that will be closed to the traveling public.
Thank you, Andrew. I'm circling back to the question in reference to bike lanes on either side of the new bridge. There's a follow-up question that says, for walking and running for cyclists, isn't that dangerous?
I think the question is related to the danger of SUP, shared use pathways. I think that question should be submitted to DDOT directly for their comments.
Thank you. We would ask that you please leave your email so that they may respond to you. We have a question. It says, will this impact traffic and residents along, excuse me, Arkansas Avenue Northwest eastbound off of 16th Street?
Jan, could you ask the question again, please?
Will this impact traffic and residents along Arkansas Avenue Northwest? This is the eastbound traffic off of 16th Street.
No, we are far away from that intersection. In other project, Rock Creek Trail, they have done the rehabilitation for trail and traffic signal in that intersection, and that job has been completed. And this project doesn't impact that intersection.
Our lane, just to piggyback on what Omi just said, our lane closures for this bridge project, it's limited to the area between the Shepherd Street and the intersection just before Arkansas. So eastbound traffic on Arkansas Avenue in no way impacted any more than it is now.
Thank you very much. I'm looking in the Q&A to see if we have any additional questions. Are there any hands raised? No. There's a question. Did I hear one speaker say that Upper Beach would be reopened?
Omen?
Yes, Beach Drive would be reopened by mid-May.
Okay, thank you. I'm reviewing the Q&A now to see if we have any additional questions. There's a question, what year? I believe he may be speaking in reference to having Upper Beach reopened. He's saying what year? Are we saying May
Tw-
this year?
22, yes, by like 3 weeks.
Oh, okay, great. That's May 2022.
Correct.
I don't see any additional questions at this moment.
Yeah, I think, Jan, let's give everybody maybe a couple more minutes.
I see a question. It's just came in. Will there be changes to traffic patterns on Upper Beach?
Can I take this one?
Yes, I mean, our project is not necessarily related to Upper Beach. So, Vincent, if you want to share your thoughts, but I think Omid.
Yeah, I think you
has thoughts too.
just said it. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. What I was going to say is no different from what you just said. So I think that's it. Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Actually, for convenience of the resident in that area, DDOT set up the staging for other Rock Creek Trail project, set up stage 3 first, then stage 5, because we had coordination with National Park Services. We DDOT didn't want to put the road closure on both routes in same time. That's why they scheduled the project based on completion of the phase 3, which is around the zoo loop and tunnel, then move to the beach drive and work on the uh, retaining wall. And we would not have a road closure in both at the same time.
So maybe you could just kind of supplement that by letting them know what stage 5 is. They may not be familiar with the stages and what sections.
Piney branch from 16, underneath of the 16th Street project.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I'm still scanning the Q&A for any additional questions. How long will the plastic coating on the lions last, and what is the cost?
If we don't have a number in mind, that question needs to be submitted, and we can provide a more comprehensive answer to that question.
Okay. Please leave your email so that you can receive a response to your question. There's another question. Will they build stairs from the south side of the 16th Street down to Piney Branch?
Kind of staircase.
Stairs, yes, a set of steps, staircase.
Not as part of this program. Our slope stabilization, work is limited to just fixing the deterioration that on the existing slope, areas of erosion, the vegetative growth, and exposed tree roots. Replace them with a very good vegetative system that would make that thing safe and better than it is now. As far as staircase, no.
As Vincent mentioned that as in terms of the safety improvement, abutment slope improvement would be part of the scope of this project, and there is no stair in that area.
Yes.
This project.
Thank you. I have another question. It says, quick fact check. Are the lions or tigers? Are they lions or tiger sculptures? And there are 4 of them. There are 4.
Omid or James, do you have an answer to that?
I thought they were lions.
I agree. They look like
We
lion.
can pull up the pic. You want to pull up this slide?
Yeah, it is slide number.
And are there 4 of them?
22.
Yes, and 2 on each side. 2 on the south side and 2 on the north side.
He looks king of the jungle, lion.
That's a lion.
Well, we have a panelist, we have an attendee that said that they are tigers, well documented. They are indeed tigers.
Okay. Oh yeah, you're right.
Jam, there's another question that popped up about the guardrail slide.
Let's see. I just saw a note that says Library of Congress refers to them as lions.
If you look at the Q&A, there's a question about the guardrail placing the O-link fence.
I am looking and I don't see it. So give me just a moment. Oh, I see. Can you show the slide of the new guardrails replacing the O-link fence?
This is it. This is the existing one. And the slide after this one, and this is the proposed replacement for that one.
I'm thinking, is this the screen or slide that they're referencing?
Yes.
There is a sample of this type of guardrail in the Rock Creek in the Rose Park area, in the ramp. Just a few months ago, DDOT did improvement in that area and put this type of guardrail. If a resident wants to take a look at the proposed how it look like, you are more than welcome to have a visit in Rose Park area.
Thank you so much. So you're saying that there is a sample of this guardrail in the park?
We have done similar improvement in other projects.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. I am still looking to see if there are any additional questions. We'll give it a few more minutes, or maybe another minute or so, just in case there are any lingering questions before we close out the meeting.
Jam, there's obviously a lot of questions about traffic from a holistic perspective, not just for this project, but other projects in the vicinity. I think you should mention as we close out just the ways for folks to keep in touch with DDOT and submit any questions related to traffic.
I would definitely do that. There's one other question. When will the completion ceremony be in 2023?
Yes.
According to the plan, yes, would be November 23.
So you're saying that there will be a ceremony, a completion ceremony?
Yes, for mostly for DDOT project, we invite a resident for a completion ceremony.
Thank you. Blair, can you advance the screen? As we begin to close out the meeting, I do want you to know that we do have a Title VI form that we would like to have our attendees complete. As a recipient of federal assistance, DDOT must ensure that all of its programs and activities and public meetings are conducted in compliance with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. It ensures non-discrimination based on race, color, or national origin. And this Title VI public meeting participant questionnaire is used to help DDOT ensure that we are informing the public and conducting our meetings in a non-discriminatory manner in compliance with Title VI. The link to this form is listed at the top of this page, and also there's a live link within this screen that you're looking at now. And then you can also take your mobile device and scan the QR code, and it will take you to the questionnaire. Next slide. We are going to bring this public meeting to a close. We do thank you for joining us tonight. If you would like to contact the team, you're welcome to contact myself. This is Jam at tbaconnects.com. The DDOT Community Engagement Specialist is Christian Pinero, and that's christian.pinero@dc.gov. And then our resident engineer, Nanette Bowles, her email is nanette.bowles@dc.gov. We thank you for joining us tonight, and we look forward to working with the community and bringing you a new bridge 2023. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, and
Thank you, everyone.
I do want to thank our community partners who've joined us tonight. We appreciate you working with us on this project. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.